Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is MazezRealm once again, and welcome to another episode of my series, Keys to Success. Now, let's be honest here. For those of you who have been playing Call of Duty and Black Ops 2 for a long time here, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the type of players that play this game. And I know that a lot of the gameplays that I post on my channel are usually really good gameplays and are usually there to help you guys learn how to navigate a map or how to use a specific weapon or do all of that good stuff that you need to do in order to be successful in Black Ops 2. However, I will say that even though I'm a really good player at Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty in general, I always have matches where I run into absolute bullshit. And the definition of bullshit in this particular episode of Keys to Success is in reference to campers. Campers in this game are what drive me to become a better player, and not only become a better player, but be able to learn the maps, learn the spawns, learn the weapons and perks and gun skill that I need to learn in order to always be able to jump into any situation and be able to dominate in that situation. And although I want to do that, sometimes it's not easy because there are players in Call of Duty and Black Ops 2 that are just destined to drive you absolutely crazy. And all of those types of players that I just described happen to be in this match on the map Drone. Now, you saw that I was using the Peacekeeper in the beginning of the gameplay. And the reason why I switched to the Remington 870 is simply because it is a weapon that dominates at close range. And when people are sitting in dark corners or are sniping across the map in one specific area, you want to use a close quarters weapon and literally flank on the outskirts of the map just so you can put the barrel of whatever weapon you decide to equip and shove it up these campers' ass. And that's exactly what this commentary is about. Dealing with campers can be one of the most frustrating things to do, or to deal with, I should say, in Black Ops 2. You'll always run into it. Sometimes you'll run into players that are really, really good at rushing and have really good gun skill. But most of the time, I would say a little bit above 50% of the time, you'll run into players that literally sit in a corner, aiming down sights with the easiest attachments to use, and just equipment everywhere, and they're just the most frustrating types of players. And the reason why they do this, I'm assuming, is because they just don't have the gun skill to rush around, and instead they feel safer hiding behind cover and using equipment and everything to survive as long as they can, because the minute they move out of that spot, bad shit happens to them. And so the only way they can get their point streaks together is by sitting in a corner and camping. And that is a strategy that I really dislike, and a strategy that I completely don't recommend for becoming better at this game. And the reason why I have become a good player in Call of Duty is because I learned to adapt to different situations. And that's what you have to do in order to defeat campers, and not only defeat campers, but also defeat opponents, no matter what type of player they are. In some matches, you'll find that the campers are actually just bad players that really don't have gun skill and don't have any awareness either. And those are the types of players that it feels good to play against because you just dominate without really having to try. But when you deal with campers like these guys that were really strategically placed all over the map, they were covering each other with sniper rifles at long range and covering each other at close range with either SMGs in a corner or shotguns themselves, and that makes it really, really difficult to deal with. But what you have to do is equip one of your best loadouts that you're really, really, really comfortable with that dominates in close quarters combat. Because a lot of campers actually will enclose themselves in a really small space. Because then they have just a few areas to patrol, and then they can just concentrate on those areas. And because that's how their mindset is, it makes it easier for you to be able to turn the tables and make sure that when you actually do kill these campers in their spot, that you actually hold it down in that particular area for maybe 1 or 2 kills, and then making sure that you go to an area that you can directly flank that area that they keep going to from their spawn, and then shooting them in the back when they try to go back to that specific area. And if you keep that mentality, every time that a camper goes to that area, just keep switching it up, and it will frustrate the camper more than you were frustrated when they were going up against you. And that's what you want to do. If someone is frustrating you in the game, you want to be able to frustrate them just with your raw skill. That's what you want to do. Don't stoop yourself down to their level by camping the same exact corner that they were camping for the entirety of the match. You don't want to do that. That won't make you a good player, in fact. It won't. It will just make you as bad as they are. And that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is become a better player. And in order to become a better player, you have to adapt to different situations, but be able to win these gunfights. And that's the mentality that you have to have. Now, another thing that you want to do when dealing with campers as well is making sure that you keep the enemy guessing. The more you keep the enemy guessing, the more frustrated they will get. Because since they don't have that gun skill, that awareness that you might have if you're a good player in this game, then you can use their weaknesses against them and use your strengths against them, and then make sure that they really, really get demoralized. And that's exactly what I did in this match. They were really annoying me. I mean, there wasn't a time that these guys were not in a corner or trying to get to a corner in the entire match. And so what I did was switch to the Remington 870. This gun dominates at close quarters combat. Really, really good. And so what I just did was patrol their spawn. I kept making sure that... And that guy just killed himself with his own bouncing Betty. Sorry about that, but that was a really funny portion of the gameplay there. But either way, you want to make sure that not only do you completely push them back from the areas that they're camping, but make sure that you actually get a chance to hold them to a spawn so that your teammates can also start picking them off and take the lead. And we ended up doing that because they actually had the lead for a little bit in the beginning of this match when I was using the Peacekeeper, and then we slowly started to gain the lead near the end of the match when I went ahead and switched to a shotgun and actually started doing some work, and my teammates started to play a little bit better as well because they were getting better spawns, and they were also getting a little bit of a breather from the enemies just literally being in every corner. And that's what you want to do. You want to communicate with your team. You want to let them know, give them call outs every time that you die in a particular area of the map. Call out to your team, let them know that you died in a specific area, and then have them swamp that specific area. And even if the camper might have a good amount of awareness and might have a little bit of gun skill, they will not be able to be, just eliminate all of your teammates that run into that area to kill them. They'll have to reload at some point. And a lot of times, these campers that are in matches, they don't have things like fast mags or, any attachment like that. They usually have something like a target finder or, a laser sight, something that will help them with their particular playstyle. And that's a good thing if you're rushing around and you're overwhelming these players, because then they'll just be completely overwhelmed and won't be able to reload quickly. And if they do try to reload quickly, they won't be able to reload fast enough for your entire team to not be able to kill them. So definitely keep this in mind, guys. If you want to be able to play against campers and beat them, then you have to get a little dirty, get a loadout that you're confident with, use a little bit of their method, and add it with a little bit of your own twist. And that's what you need to do in order to defeat campers in Black Ops 2. So if you guys did enjoy this episode of Keys to Success, you can watch my previous episode of Keys to Success by clicking that thumbnail there on your screen. If you'd like to watch a similar series to this one, you can click on that thumbnail and it will take you straight to the Arsenal. That's a really, really good series on my channel that you guys will probably enjoy. If you haven't subscribed already, you can do that by clicking on the button there on the top right. Follow me on Twitter by hovering over that Twitter icon there on the top left. And if you want to watch the rest of my playlist and all the rest of the videos that I have to offer on my channel, you can click on the MazezRealm icon there on the bottom of your screen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and until next time, this has been MazezRealm. I'm out.